coming up with theatre in the Playspace is so much better than doing it in a Cafe Nero.
To play in the space was a wonderful opportunity to have 3 days in a space that we could create stuff, leave stuff, and really immerse ourselves in developing the initial stages of the project.
Working in the space gave me the freedom to explore new ideas in a safe and open environment. Working in the space meant that I wasn't working to a deadline, which is great. We wasn't under any time pressure, so we were able to experiment and take risks and make mistakes.
We've had access to the space and some tech, just to play around with the work and the ideas.
It was great to have a lot of room to move about in and to try out different scenes. Some of the scenes that I've got, we played with the physicality and used the space and the chairs and the tables to be able to use different setups and things. And it was nice to be able to have space to do a table read, but then have a bit more room to go and do the acting and get the play up on its feet.
One of the biggest aha moments for us as a team was when we came to realise what the theme of the show would be. And I think once we had come to the understanding that this was the central theme of the piece, it allowed us to bring all the different improvisational activities that we'd done around building character into one cohesive central storyline, and from that it gave us a focus.
The piece is very much based on my personal experiences, and it was suddenly finding connections that I'd never thought of with songs and music that we were looking at.
I think for me it's been such a welcoming space to get back into writing and performing in a way that isn't just me being sat at home. I think for so many years now, especially since the pandemic, it feels like you're just sort of on your own as an artist, but coming here in such a welcoming space just makes me feel like my creativity has a community and a receptive one.
There was one big aha moment that we had. There's a character in the play that's a cat, and you never see the cat, and it belongs to the secondary character. And one of the actors at one point went, "So obviously the cat is a metaphor for the main character." And I went, "Oh my God, the cat is a metaphor for the main character." And it hadn't even occurred to me. And even after that revelation, I realised I'd actually written that line in the script, that the main character is like the cat, and it hadn't even occurred to me. So it took somebody else going through it to be able to point that out.
My question to the next artist that used the Playspace is, what scared you the most when you started this process, and what surprised you the most by the end of it?
I think sometimes it's scary looking at aspects of your own life and sharing that with somebody. Even though John, who I was working with, we've known each other for a long time, we'd never quite been that intimate, and I'd never quite shared so much with him. So that was a bit scary, but it also worked for us very well. Why are they doing it? Why are they following this project? What's key and what is important?
So the project I took for Playspace was my play, which is called A Work of Fiction, and it's all about fan fiction, which is a big part of my life and a big part of why I got into writing. And so it's a really big passion project. But this was the first time that I exposed it to people who don't really know about fan fiction, don't know me, and could get their reactions to the material.
I came in with this idea for this show. It's been bubbling away for maybe a year or two, and I had a few lines written already, and a lot of research behind me. And I came to Demi and said, I want to do a one-woman show about spiritual psychosis and how people fall into it. And Demi was like, okay, cool.
Been a freelancer for a very, very long time, and the city at the moment is going through drought in terms of development work, and I feel like Hippodrome is plugging the hole that is there for different types of artists to develop their work. How do you stay curious when you're developing work and not just wanting perfection?
I think staying curious is vital to creating fresh and exciting work. I think it means you give yourself the permission to not have all the answers. And I think if you plan too much, then you close yourself off to being surprised. And I think working with actors without a script is a great way of staying curious, because you're always asking your characters why, and you get an answer back in real time.